That's on. So I'll make an announcement once we get that water and we'll get started.
It was just like,
So Mary, that's a wireless microphone, so when you come up and talk, you can just stand in front of us or stand to the side, whatever you want. Or you can sit with me, sit where I'm sitting, and I can stand over there. Whatever you want.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's gonna stay, you could, if you could leave it here and sit here where I'm sitting when you talk.
No, I don't necessarily. I'll stay in mine.
Okay.
I don't even think I need a microphone, honestly.
They
I have
want
a
it,
gym voice that projects.
well, as do I, but they want it for the,
For the video?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
get your whistle protection.
I have this whistle, and I have kids folks, like they were gathering with us today. And they're like, whoa, what was that?
Start to take a seat. We're going to get started with our services here in just a few moments. If we could all start to take our seats.
Josh, you say hi to Aunt Carol? Carol, does Dean have the link? Does Dean have the video link?
So, yeah. Oh, for the one I have? The one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
well, I want him to be able to see this.
Oh,
You know, Dean,
okay.
I mean Nick, your son.
Oh, Nicholas.
Nick. I meant Nick, does Nick have the link?
Um,
Is he working there?
I think he's working, but
working.
I can check.
I did want to let you know we had 10 people that are on the stream right now.
Okay,
So 10 people are viewing.
okay.
Once again, thank you for gathering here today. As we get settled in, we would ask that if everyone could take out their cell phones and put them on silent or turn them off so they don't interrupt our services here.
What's the Mets make a signing? Bob, you're here.
Thank you very much for gathering with us. We're going to get started with our services. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Let me start out by saying this is, it's unthinkable, unimaginable, and the pain is hard to describe. But first, all you being here means a lot and helps. And for those out there and for all of you here, every email, every phone call, every text, every time the doorbell rings and there's food or there's flowers, every one of those things helps a lot. It means a lot to us every single time it happens. Every posting on Facebook, every comment, they all help us get through what we're trying to get through, and our lives will never be the same. They'll never be what we thought. And when we came here to Michigan in 1998, Sam was about 2.5. He couldn't say a word, and mostly because of the efforts of many, but mostly because of Barb and everything she set up for him. As I said, I've joked many times, I can't believe we taught him how to talk because he hasn't shut up ever since. But Barbara spent the last 26 years advocating not just for Sam, but for all people with disabilities in our community. And I just want to read to you what Sam's week would have been like if he were with us. What his week, and this is not a typical week, this is about right now. So on Monday, he would go to Community Health Services in Chelsea until about 2 o'clock, and then Strike Force Bowling with Josh in the afternoon. On Tuesday, he'd go to Family Educational Services in Ypsilanti. These are both full-time programs for adults. Day programs for adults. And then he had Mr. Mike Brunell does music therapy in the afternoon. How long have we been with Mr. Mike?
Oh, gosh, since Sam was about 4 or 5. There's one picture of him over there, and both the kids that he's with, they're also his same age. And actually, Madeline was in the day program with him, so 22 years.
Yeah, and Sam loves to sing, and and just loves it all because of Mr. Mike. On Wednesday, Barb was going to start 2 days ago, Liberty Club in Saline, which happens to be the facility where we do Special Olympics. But there's a there's a high school in there, and then there's a program separately for for adults that Sam was going to be in, and that was going to start on Wednesday. And then yoga and pickleball in the afternoons, is that?
They sort of alternated.
They alternate between yoga and pickleball. Whatever.
It was like
And Sam loved
another
yoga.
adaptive sports.
You know, tree pose down, he just loved yoga.
No, it wasn't exactly great at it. but
Not
he loved
svelte,
it.
and not limber, but loved it. Thursday, he went back to FES, Family Educational Services in Ypsilanti. And then Thursday night would be with me, Special Olympics basketball. And Josh played also. They both played on teams that I actually didn't coach either of them. If you could believe it, other people coached them. And that's why, and that was some of these people you'll see in here who coached them. Friday, back to Community Health Services in Chelsea, and Special Olympics swimming. The venue has changed. It's not the Y right now, but in the
It is the
afternoon.
Y back at the.
It's back at the Y. And Saturday morning, Challenger Bowling, little story there. Where we are now, and we're going for lunch at Carlisle, right next to Carlisle is a Tesla dealership. You may have noticed it. For that first 22 years living here, that was the bowling alley for Challenger Bowling. Not Special Olympics bowling, but Challenger, which is people with disabilities that we became involved with. And Sam and Josh bowled in that. And they're actually very good bowlers, both of them. And they love bowling. But now they split it up. Saturday morning, Sam goes to Chelsea, and Sunday mornings, he goes to Saline for bowling. So, but he's still doing, but then Saturday afternoons, a whole bunch of stuff, dance, there's been special soccer sometimes, and that was usually the time we took a walk with Roxy. We always took a walk with Roxy. And then Sunday after Challenger Bowling was typically Best Buddies with U of M, University of Michigan, and then we do, May and June, we do Challenger Baseball. You'll see a lot of those pictures, which we've been working with since it's a very long time. So it's a pretty active list, and Barb set all of this up, except for the Special Olympics stuff. I'll take credit for that. Other than that, Barb set everything else up.
Well, I got them started in it, and then you came in and.
Yeah, that's probably,
The program.
yeah.
Such
Well,
a
when the
natural
pandemic happened,
evolution.
Special Olympics kind of
Fell apart.
fell apart, and Barb and I and the person who was running it decided to move on, and so we just picked it up ourselves, and we're going to continue. Obviously, Josh is very involved and a wonderful player, and we're going to continue. And those people mean a lot to us in Special Olympics. All the people, Christy, Katie, Coach Glenn, of course, Kat, Erica, Jim, these are our coaches that coach with all the different sports with us, and we're looking forward to that. So, Barb, you want to say anything? You want Mary to talk?
Keep going.
All right. Mary, you want to come up and talk, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, that's nice, thank you.
Thank you.
Yikes. There you go. Is that- should be able to turn it.
Okay, I just, wanted to talk a little bit about things that I'll always remember about Sam. First, the $1 million smile, which you can see in all of his pictures. His amazing memory of dates, states, capitals, everything, presidents. He remembered everything. He could tell you when he went somewhere, what he did, who he was with. His joy of celebrating birthdays, and that again goes to this amazing memory. Lately the predictions of the year I would turn 100,
That just started.
the day that I would turn 100 on.
Yeah.
So, his engaging personality. He was more quiet as a kid, and then his love of other people, especially everybody that was involved in his life. He would talk about them, and then I would reach over to Barb and say, who's he talking about? Because he had these names, and he had so many friends, that he did things with, and teachers, and people involved in his life. His love of animals. We had our first dog, and his name was Grady, until Sam met him, and then he became Mr. Grady. And from then on, he was
Well, Matt
Mr.
called him that
Grady.
once. And he heard Matt call him that, and since Matt said that, he just,
Yes. He picked it up and ran
he
with
picked it
it.
up and ran with it.
His frequent visits to Cleveland, not only did our family enjoy him, but my husband Matt is from a very large family, and he would come to parties and graduations, and he was the hit of the party. He loved everybody, he spoke to everybody, he memorized everybody's birthdays, so he had the extended birthday list. It just was an ever-expanding list. When he would come, every once in a while, we'd be like, where's Sam? Where's Sam? And we would typically find him in two places, on the computer and in the basement in our workout room on the elliptical machine. Like for an hour, he would ride the elliptical machine. And I'm like, he was incredible. His love of routines, you know, he would tell you it's time for a shower, it's time to put his pajamas on, it's time, like he had his routines, and you know, he was dedicated to them. And he had this internal clock where he knew when it was time to do this and when it was time to do that. His favorite rest stop on the way to and from, I think he would revolt if his parents did not stop at
Put it mildly.
the one rest stop in Ohio that has the Panera, because he loved his Panera. He loved going to museums, he loved to go to parties, he loved, we went to baseball games with him. He just liked to be out and about and see new things and go on walks and go to the park. Those are things I will always remember about him. He would frequently tell us about his Special Olympic events and the trips that he had made to do Special Olympics. And his love of his teachers and his friends, again, you know, he would talk about them all the time. He was an amazing young man, and that was because of Barb and Howard giving him and Josh all the opportunities. They're amazing parents. Their advocacy for him and others, their support, the opportunities that they provided for him to give him an amazing full life. You know, it's so sad that it was as short as it was, but it was well lived, and we love him. So I always think of the two of them as an example of you love your kids for what they are and not what they're not. So I think that's it. I love you guys.
Move that down. Anyone else want to come up and talk, just let me know.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, John. Come on up, they want you to talk to the microphone now, so.
Well, usually you can hear me pretty good across
Yeah,
the
but
room.
Thank you guys.
for the
for-
video,
I'm told I
so
can't be heard, but that's,
your son Nick could hear you talk, you want him to hear you.
one piggyback on what Mary said was amazing. I shared a post that you put out, and how many of my friends called and said, excuse me, I don't cry often, but said, we remember Sam. We remember Sam, how he impacted my friends when he was around. Josh, Barb, we didn't see a lot of Howard, but, you know, they said it was Howard. But he impacted people. And I wanted to share that. It was incredible how he did that.
Well, I think
How
it's
my
some-
friends reached out and
We'd go to
said-
a graduation party and he'd be like the entertainment with the birthday tray.
Oh.
And people would be like, if I was born in 1959, how old am I
Yeah.
now? And he would just be like,
It was
Okay.
incredible. And I want to say, kudos to both of you for doing what you did and what you continue to do. And I want you to keep that up, keep that heart, and great job. Because you got another great one right here. And he's going to be a big part of all our lives. So, but I'll never cry again, so you better get it on camera. But we love you guys.
Thanks,
We'll do anything for you. Okay?
Thanks, John.
All right.
Let me say this about Josh. Josh was a great brother to Sam. In so many of the pictures, if you look up here, how many times Josh, the younger brother, has his arm around Sam, almost protecting him, always looking out for him. You know, Josh, as I don't know if you guys know, has made unbelievable progress. Again, mostly through Bob's guidance, graduating with an associate's degree from, I guess, 3 different places: WCC in Michigan State and Wayne County, driver's license, job in landscape management. And so what Bob did for Sam, she did for Josh to get them these opportunities. And Josh's schedule was like Sam's, if you can imagine. No different stuff, but same kind of thing. I made a file the other day of some of the comments from people, and I'll try to read some of them without, but if you guys want to interrupt me, feel free. I mean, Facebook, everyone, you know, Facebook comments were really very supportive. As I said from the start, we read every one of them. We are going to continue. Michael, I think, gave me, and Matt and Mary gave me guidance. We didn't know what to do, what to do when this happened. We just didn't know what to do. And Michael
Thank you guys all for your support. You guys have been so.
and Matt and Mary came up the day it happened. They spent the whole day with us and listened to us. And telling my brother and listening to pain in his voice was causing. What bothers me is we caused so much pain. Telling so many people about this. When I told Coach Glenn, I just felt.
Glenn is one of the guys that was like especially close to Sam, and Sam just loved him. And
I know Glenn is hurting so much, and it just feels badly that we had to tell him and everybody this. But like I said, every time we get any part of support is helpful, and we're going to continue to teach and continue to coach. And Barb's going to continue her advocacy and her involvement with. Could you give me the name of the charity, the full name of the charity?
Many Hands Life Sharing Community. It's my friend Carrie has a son who's just like about a year younger than Sam, and he's very impacted. He's pretty nonverbal and very big, like 6'4", likes to yell and scream a lot. But he's, you know, they have trouble. The most impacted kids really have more trouble getting services, and she's starting a community. She just got 80 acres near Dexter, which is right next to Ann Arbor, and she wants to build like a community center and a little farm kind of for the residents to help out or work at. There's gonna be a hiking path, there's gonna be places to live, and we're, you know, just maybe that could be something for Sam down the road. We just had started thinking about that, and then this happens. But she wants to name the walking path, which is gonna be open to the public after Sam, so that's really nice. And they are kicking off their capital campaign to start actually breaking ground and building some of the buildings, so that's just something nice and local that, you know. But anything people wanna do, they can give in Sam's name anywhere, but just, you know, stuff like that.
Pole punches tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, there's, Special Olympics Michigan has these events called the Polar Plunge, so people in their own cities or chapters, they jump into a big vat of cold water for charity. It's called the Polar Plunge, suits Michigan, so they're having the one for Ann Arbor.
Those 50 degrees out.
Yeah, even though it's
When
not-
Josh and I did it before the pandemic at U of M Stadium, and Josh, was it cold? It was like in his teens. And I'm telling you, that's 4 years ago, I have not thawed out. It was cold. Josh felt nothing. Sam was there, but didn't want to do it, but Sam was there having a great time talking to everyone, having fun and doing what he did. But that's tomorrow. It's actually right near here. The pole plunge is being held within a half mile where we're sitting right now. Yeah, it's where we have the Special Olympics meetings. Yeah, we have monthly meetings where it's the place we have our Special Olympics meetings. So, yeah, so that place is important to us. So we're going to continue to do our advocacy work and I'm going to continue to coach. But don't forget us. I mean, we still want to hear from all of you. And every time we get, and you know, I told Tom yesterday, when he came, Tom was the first one to come yesterday. He came at about a little afternoon, and when he heard the doorbell, it was just such a, I was just so comforted that he was there. And Tom and I talked politics and didn't even argue that much. Is that right, Tom?
That's exactly right.
But it was so good to have him there, and I appreciate that so much. And to have him there for as long as he was there yesterday, and everyone who came over last night, and Joan and Pete, I know how tough it was for you guys to come here, but I mean, Sam just loved you guys so much, as you know. And it was just so great that you guys were here.
Let's talk about the Pittsburgh party. He really enjoyed that. So.
Yeah.
When Pete turned 80, they had a nice party in Pittsburgh, and Sam got to see some of the folks
Yeah.
again.
And some of the pictures here are from that party, and we went to the Warhol Museum, the Andy Warhol Museum there. That's some of these pictures here, and a pirate game. So, and we've been to Pittsburgh, obviously. We got married there. Barb and I got married there in 1989, and
I think everybody was.
Joan kind of said, you know, this is where you're getting married. She thought, you know, because we weren't sure what to do. We weren't sure where to get married at the time. You know, we weren't sure. We didn't live here then, but and we lived in Chicago at the time, and obviously family from New York, and so Joan kind of gently guided us as she does. I'll just say,
Grandma.
yeah, and your mom.
Your mother.
Yeah, and that was that, and so we got married in Pittsburgh, and that was wonderful, and I think all of you were there, and that was 35 years ago, and having each other now is it means just a hard time, you know, every time it helps so much having her with me. Just means so much. And Josh with us, I probably check on him more than I should, but just having everyone there. So I'm going to read a couple of things here. So this one's someone who went to the Special Olympics last week with them. I'm so sorry for your loss. I was lucky enough to spend the last week with Sam as a peer up at Traverse City for Special Olympics. He was truly the embodiment of joy and excitement. Everyone he interacted with, including myself, immediately felt the same happiness he radiated. I'm extremely grateful I was able to meet Sam, and my thoughts are with you, Josh, and the rest of your family. Next comes from Gene Reynolds. Gene Reynolds was Barb's TA teaching in Dickin Elementary. Sam and I,
On the picture board over there.
and her son was Sam's swim coach at Vets. And Sam and I had a little thing that we always did, more than one time a day. He'd go through every place he went to school and every place he did his programs, and I tell him, you're too old to go. You know, he goes, Jewish Community Center. He started Jewish Community Center in Dallas. You're way too big and way too old. He would just crack up, as if I said it for the first time. And that in the card you guys got, you know, it's the way he thinks. We put the Very Hungry Caterpillar on the card. I mean, even though he's 27, he passed at 27. He watched this within the last week, if you can believe that. PBSkids.org was his. You don't have to worry about him watching porn on the computer. He just went to PBSkids.org.
Or YouTube, so he could look up Sesame Street.
Yeah.
You know.
And when we were in Pittsburgh, I was telling Pete this last night. At the game we went to in Pittsburgh 2 years ago, it was Sesame Street Day at the baseball game. And all the characters were there in all the Sesame Street characters, and Sam thought this was the greatest thing of all time. And Sam didn't scream like the other little kids screamed, but I was kind of annoyed because I'm sitting there keeping score at the game, trying to watch the game, and they came up to where we were sitting, and, you know, people were not paying attention to the game. I'll just leave it at that. And Sam he still talks about the Sesame Street characters, forget the game, you know, at that game, and he loved it. So anyway, Gene was Sam's TA from the start and a big part of our lives. Barbara and Josh, I can't imagine what you were feeling. Sam will forever be in our hearts. I feel blessed to have worked alongside of Sam for 5 years. He taught me so much. Barb, you were always so supportive and kind to guide me. You are an amazing family who gives everything for those around you. Please hold the memories of Sam forever, as all of us were touched by him. He was a special, beautiful soul. Another one of Barb's friends. Barb, I've always admired your intrepid spirit as an advocate for your sons. The many Facebook posts that featured how completely included your boys were in a wealth of activities in many environments always sparked my admiration for your family. The loss of Sam, with his perennial cheerfulness, seems very hard to bear. My heart is full of good thoughts for all of you. Another friend of Barb's. My heart is breaking. No, not Sam. I kept saying that myself. No, not Sam. He was so delightful with his big smile. She capitalized big. I look forward to seeing him in his friendly energy. Barb and family, I'm so sorry. You were amazing how hard you worked to give Sam every opportunity possible. What a full life he had, way too short. Next is Stephanie Amari. Stephanie worked with Sam from the very start when we moved here.
In our home ABA program.
In our home program, right, when we moved here. I'm so sorry for your loss. Sam had a special place in my heart to this day. I remember all the times I spent with him and his family, not only working one-on-one with Sam, but building an amazing relationship with such an amazing little boy, of course, little when I work with him. He is the reason I continue to pursue my career and further in the field of ABA. It was an honor to witness his learning and growing. My deepest condolences to you, Barb and Josh. I'm so sorry you are having to go through this pain and heartache. Sending hugs all the way from the West Coast. This is from Loretta, Barb's first cousin. Very beautiful tribute to a beautiful soul. Sam's smile touched everyone who met him. He will be missed. You, Barb and Josh, are in our thoughts and prayers. This is from Patty, also Barb's first cousin. Such a beautiful tribute to Sam. Sam had the benefit of two of the most supportive and involved parents in you and Howard, and he lived to the fullest with his many experiences and accomplishments, sending you to love. Eleanor Kelly, she's a mom, Special Olympics mom. Sam was such a wonderful young man. So sorry for your loss. It's so unfair. That's what I feel. We're thinking of you and sending hugs. Lucy Ann Lance, another friend of Barb's.
She's actually a radio personality.
Yeah, she
is autistic now.
Lucy Ann, when we were on strike, Barb connected to get me on the radio. I'm not saying, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything more about that. But she was very supportive. But Barb knew her before I did. The entire community shares your pain, Barb and Howard. You and your family have been an inspiration to many. I marveled over Sam's many accomplishments. My deepest sympathy on the profound loss of your beautiful boy. I'm praying for both of you. And Josh, that God may grant you comfort and peace. We have a lot of religious mentions here, and I think that's great. No matter what religion you are or we are, if that's what helps you, that helps us. So if you want to express your religion, your religious, that's absolutely perfectly fine, and I'm happy with that.
Never hurts.
Another friend of Barb's, Barb, my heart actually leapt into my throat. I haven't read the whole post yet. Needed to reach out to you. He was such a shining light. That smile always brought a smile. I can only imagine what it's like to receive in real life. My deep condolences to you, Howard and Josh. Another friend of Barb's. I'm so sorry, Barb. My heart is breaking for you and your family. He was so beautiful, and his smile also brought a smile to my face. I wish I could take your pain. From a Special Olympics parent. What a heartfelt tribute to Sam. You and Barb ensured that he enjoyed every aspect of life. He lived life to the fullest every day, smiling beautifully through it all. May God be with you all as you attempt to find peace during this most difficult of times. Your Special Olympics family is here to support you in any way we can.
Yes, she's the director. That's Katie. She's a weird name.
One of my former students who babysat for Sam and Josh, actually. I'm so very sorry for your loss. I have the fondest memories of Sam. He always lit up a room. and have the most infectious smile. My thoughts are with you and your family. Another Eastern Michigan connection. Oh my gosh, we're so sad and so sorry to hear this. We love seeing the many updates over the years of what Sam was up to. Sending love to you all. This one, Carl Raby. Carl's pretty important to us. Carl and Patty Raby are the parents of Bill Raby, who's about Sam's age.
He's about 33.
Okay, a little older than Sam. And they've been involved in Special Olympics for years, and Patty coaches with us. Carl coaches with us. Well, coached.
Used to.
Coached. Maybe I'll get him back now. Maybe I'll use my guilt to get him back to coach again. I couldn't get him to coach this year. Maybe I'll guilt him back into it. Carl was great. He coached. I would coach his son, and he would coach Sam, because it just seemed to work out better that way. The boys just responded to the different parents that way, and it was fine. It didn't bother either of us that we didn't coach our own kids. We coached each other's kids. Carl wrote, we are all shocked beyond belief, and our hearts ache for your family. Sam was a pure and shining light, and we are blessed to have known him. The entire community is here for you. This is from Abby Schoenfeld, who worked with Sam, and I'm so deeply sorry. Sam couldn't have been a greater guy, and it legitimately was my favorite thing to get his birthday reminders every year. I have so many fun memories with him and your family. My heart hurts for you, Barb and Josh. Deepti, she was lived in our neighborhood, knew Barb, myself, and was a student as well. Barb, Dr. Bunsis, and Josh, I'm so sorry for your devastating loss. Sam was such a sweetheart. I especially enjoyed chatting with him every summer at our Peak sessions. Peak is the biking you may see, when you see stuff on here with the purple, the orange shirts. Barb got Peak set up with Peak, which stands for
Program to educate all cyclists.
that. And we've been doing Peak for how long?
Sam was probably about 5.
Yeah.
We started, and he wouldn't, I remember his first year, he would just scream when we putting the bike helmet on him. So that was the first task, was to get him to wear a bike helmet. And then, from then on, it took a long time for him to learn how to ride a two-wheeler, but they were so great. And they would come into it was a summer program, and they would come with this big van in a parking lot, and they had every imaginable, three-wheelers, recumbent bikes, everything.
Yeah, you
And
see.
they would just keep trying all different things, and he learned to ride a two-wheeler eventually.
Yeah, and we went on, he called a community, whenever the 4 of us went on a ride, or even 2 of us, he called it a community ride.
Because that's what they would call it.
That's what they would
went
call
out
it. He
in
called,
neighborhoods.
I was not brave enough to just drive. The streets around here could be a little much. So we always, the same parks we walk in, we ride. And Josh would always lead. Josh would be first, then Mom, then Sam, then me, always back. This from Christy. Christy also is one of the area directors in Special Olympics, and she lost her sister last year.
It was during the pandemic.
During the
so
pandemic.
I think it was a couple of years ago, but she waited to have a memorial.
And some of the pictures, that's my Aunt Linda. I saw
That's
saw
the
that.
party, just a couple of weeks ago.
I think that was Aunt Linda, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's
That
the
was-
party.
I just looked there and I think I saw my,
And she's watching online.
she's what, well, and Sam loved her.
And there's.
Very
yeah,
much.
That's your dining room.
So Christy wrote, my deepest, most sincere condolences. Sam's enthusiasm and kindness were incredible, and it was a blessing to be around him. I'm praying for you, Barb and Josh, during this excruciating time of sadness and grieving. Sam will hold a very special place in my heart forever. If I can do anything to support you, or if your Special Olympics family can do anything to support you, please let us know. As you can tell, Special Olympics is pretty important to us and Sam, and will continue to be because of people like Carl and Christy and Patty and Katie and everyone else. Next, so sorry for the loss of your son because of your posting all the wonderful family pics. We've all seen for a long time what great parents you are and how devoted you are to make your son's life so wonderful. Cannot imagine the pain you're in. I have 2 sons as well. He could not have had a better life. May his memories always be a blessing. Richie Greenbaum, who you may know, Michael?
Yes.
Howard, I can't even express in words how sorry I am reading this. My deepest condolences to you and your family. From a former student at Eastern. So sorry for your loss. I remember you sharing so many wonderful stories about Sam during my time at Eastern. It was evident your love for him and how amazing a person he was. Praying for you all. Jen Schwartz. Jen was the person who ran Area 20 before us, and Sam absolutely adored Jen, and she was great with him. and she did so much for our athletes and for everyone. Sure. Barb Howard's.
There's snowshoeing on the grass.
Yeah, that was last week. That was last week. Sam's involvement in the community leaves so many lives touched by his presence. Ryan's Jen's son, who coached with me. Ryan and I coached together on so many different sports. He went to Northern Michigan, and then he moved to Colorado, imagine that. And hasn't come back. I don't know how you can move to Colorado and not want to come back. I guess it happens, doesn't it? And but Ryan was a very big part of Sam's life. Ryan and I are just two of the countless people who will never forget him. Thank you for sharing him with us. May we all be more like Sam. Katie Retzel was the mom of Luke, who currently plays for us. Luke's just a wonderful young man. We're so sad to hear Sam's passing. He was such a special guy and always made our family smile. He'd be greatly missed. Our thoughts and prayers with your family. Callie Nowitzki. Callie was Sam's teacher for how many years?
Just 1 year,
Just
a young
1 year.
adult.
And Callie was also not a student of mine, but went to Eastern. And she was the teacher in this program. Praying for all of you. You're an amazing family. Sam always made my day. We will miss him so much. Another Barb's friend, I'm so sorry to read of this tremendous loss. May Sam's memory always be for a blessing. Shockingly heartbreaking news. It's hard to say that, but that's how we feel. Barb, we are with you. For my AUP family, I want to mention them. Rudy Fichtenbaum, one of my dear friends who lives in Dayton, Ohio. And Rudy and I have known each other for several decades now, and been to our house several times and met Sam. And just Rudy's just a wonderful soul, and Sam and him just had a strong connection from the start. And the way we have it set it downstairs, I'm in the man cave, as she calls it. I don't know, just the basement. I don't know if you call it a man cave. So I'm down there and I talk on the phone, and I always put it on a speaker. Sam's on his computer across the way. He never watched TV all that much, if you can believe it. He'd watch when the Mets were on, he'd say, "Let's go Mets." And when he saw Buck Showalter's face, he'd say, "Buck Showalter," because he knew that, thank God that guy's gone. And I don't know why he liked Buck Showalter and knew Buck Showalter, but he just did. And he liked Carmelo Anthony, right, Josh? Isn't that?
Yeah,
I don't know why he liked Carmelo. Carmelo's a great player, but he liked Carmelo Anthony. And he does the Let's Go Ranger thing. But so he sits over there, and I put the phone on speaker, and there are certain voices that he just knows. Michael, obviously. And Michael spoke to him his last night, and which is always so difficult for us because he was really doing very fine. He was fine. And hopefully we'll get some answers over time as to what happened. But getting past that, so certain voices, Michael, obviously Barbara, Josh, and Rudy. If Rudy's voice was, he knew it was Rudy just by Rudy's voice. He didn't have to see the name. He's 30 feet away, and then he heard Rudy's voice or he heard Michael's voice, and then he'd either be lazy and talk from his chair or come on over and start. But his latest thing, this 100-year-old thing, like Mary said, this has been a new thing. I think I finally figured it out. This is what I figured out. I can never understand how he could tell what day of the week it was in July 3rd, 2007. How could he know that was a Wednesday? And then we'd look it up, and Andrew, Andrew always like, how does he know that? And then what happened, someone caught him a couple weeks ago. It was an older person, I forget who it was.
It was John from bowling.
Yeah, John from bowling was
These
born.
older guys help out with bowling, and he's 79.
He was born in the 40s, right?
I think it was 45.
Yeah, so he asked Sam what day of the week it was in 1945. And Sam went to his phone and looked up the calendar from 1945. I think for most of the calendars from 1950 through the year 20, whatever, it's all memorized. I'm not just saying that, and I'm not it has to be. I think he's memorized.
He wouldn't look at his phone usually. He would just sit there and think, and then he'd be like,
he wouldn't look at his phone.
You know.
Oh yeah, July 17, 2004, that was Thursday. He was always right. And so I think what happened, and I think this developed fairly recently, this extra thing.
No, he was always.
But not with the date, not necessarily with the dates, and not going back that far and forward that far. The 100-year thing,
That's more
if you guys heard the 100-year, when you're going to turn 100, that's fairly recent. And you know, he knew his audience, so he could tell that you guys liked it. He loved people, like John said when he went, he just loved being around people. He just loved it.
Well,
He
it's
loved
funny,
doing
because
it.
he didn't like big crowds, but he liked to be there and then interact with like his favorites, which you guys all were, so.
Yeah, going to like the Wrigley.
Like a
the-
big party was harder for him.
Yeah.
But as long as he could take a little break or just interact with a few people at a time, he really.
Yeah, like going to Allie's wedding that we had, you know, that size crowd was, you know, that's a good size. That's why, you know, some of the pictures from Allie's wedding, you can see how happy he was there. And, but like a Cub game or the Indian, that he's not, he would bottom of the first, top of the second. He couldn't wait for the ninth inning. And he also manipulated me, that he would only have to stay a certain time period and then we'd leave no matter what the score. But I realized in baseball, you start doing that, you can leave early from a good game, so I stopped that practice. And, I mean, my way of parenting with Sam was to give him anything he asked for and anything he wanted. It seemed to work well for me. Anything difficult, I'll admit, in his 27 years, the amount of times I disciplined him was pretty close to zero. But Barb didn't, he liked to be compliant though, because the ABA teaches you get rewarded when you do well, so he wanted to please. And so in our house, he did, and you all know this, he did the laundry, the garbage, the recycling, the dishwasher, the laundry from start to finish, getting from the baskets, washer, dryer, fold, put away. None of us touched any of it. Made Josh's bed almost every day, and his own bed every day. I made our bed, he didn't have to do that. But and then he would tell you what he did. Sam did this, he did a point to his shoulder. Say, you know, like taking a 20-second time out. You know, Sam did this. And he wanted the praise. He loved the praise, and he loved that. So that's just, but the 100-year thing, he could tell you guys all like that. And so he decided to tell them when they were 100 years old, including himself, which obviously didn't happen. But terrible. Anyway, so thanks to Rudy, if you're watching, you know how much you meant to him, and how connected the two of you were. Someone else from AUP, Sam was very sweet, and AUP is the American Association of University Professors. They're our union, and I've been around the country.
Howard's been the president, he's been involved with the national.
Not the president of AUP, Rudy's president. I was
I'm
president.
the president of the
local,
Eastern
yeah.
chapter.
And Rudy, I was the president of the union, so Rudy and I spent, how many times we went to Jennifer's house Jennifer Nober, in DC. And I think I'm not speaking out of turn. For Rudy and I, the highlight of our trips to DC, which were 3 or 4 times a year, were dinner at Jennifer's house, and Roger, your mom would always come, of course, and she got to know Rudy pretty well, and a big part of our family, and Jennifer and Dave, and the children are wonderful. Alex and Natasha are wonderful, and I wish they had gotten more time with Sam, but I certainly got to know them. They're just terrific. So Angela wrote, Sam was very sweet. I've always remembered how beautiful it was to meet your family. I'm so sorry to hear this. Your family, all who love Sam, are in my prayers. A former student of mine wrote, Sam could truly light up a room. He couldn't have had a better family. I'm so very sorry to hear of his passing and saddened by your loss. This is from a Special Olympics parent, Landon's mom. The Gruff family is praying for you and your family to be wrapped in comfort and peace. Sam was such a delight, and his joyous spirit will be missed. Kenny Elan, who, Michael, you may know from camp. Howard, on behalf of our sister Cindy and myself, we're so sorry to read of your loss. We enjoyed you posting so much about Sam and his accomplishments. It's a tribute to you and your family that he had a wonderful and meaningful life. May his blessing be a memory. May his memory be a blessing. This is from Sarah Vanderlooven. Sarah's the mom of 2 twins, Amelia and Abigail, who came to Special Olympics this year for the first time. Barb, through her network, she didn't realize she was doing all this marketing, but we've actually grown the program to an incredible size, and we have all these new people in the program, and 2 of them were Abigail and Amelia, who are the most wonderful souls. They're just such great kids. They're 9-year-old twin girls. And this is what Sarah wrote. My girls were so nervous to join Special Olympics, and you and Sam welcomed them with open arms. On their very first day, Sam asked their names and their birthdays. Imagine that. Sam's 27, they're 9.
Nice to meet you. When's your birthday?
And they chatted about their favorite holidays. They beamed, she capitalized beamed, all week that they made a friend and always looked for Sam first at every practice. And they became, they just, I don't know, friends, I guess you could say. They certainly, through the practices, we're shattered for you. Sam's smile will live in our hearts forever and always celebrate him on April 1st. We got a lot of that. Gary Bernstein, we've known Gary how long? A very long time.
They have autistic twins.
Yeah. I'm so shocked and sorry. My deepest condolences to you and Barb and Josh. Wonderful life that you all helped him live ended much too soon. Lil Tay's another AUP person from California. Oh, Howard, I'm so sorry to hear about Sam. I followed your postings about your family and always admired how much love there was among you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Jason Elias. Jason worked at AUP in DC and is from California and has met Sam many times. Jason, tremendous person. I know his family as well. Howard, sending love to you, Josh and Barb. I know that his memory and smile will always be a blessing. Sam was truly made of pure love. Lori, Barry's ex-wife. Can I say it like that? Can I say it? Lori and I, my brother, and I know what Josh is going through now, losing a brother. Michael and I lost our brother Barry recently, and Jamie, Barry's daughter, wrote to us and said that she hopes that Barry and Sam are now together, which I hope is true. And Lori and I went to high school together. It was such an honor to have finally met this sweet young man at his grandmother's 90th. We had that at Michael's house just 3 weeks ago. He will now be an angel watching over all of you with no pain and only happiness. This was the sister of Jay He. Jay He is about Sam's age. Jay is like Sam, they go to everything. We've known the family a long time, and Jay He's just wonderful. And Sam, they don't really talk to each other, but I think they're pretty good friends, aren't they? They were.
Jay, he doesn't talk much, but he was a year younger, so he was graduating from this program this year, the young adult, because in Michigan you can go till you're 26, and then he was probably going to come to the day program Sam was at too. But he'd be like, Jay, he's graduating in June.
Yeah,
Come to CHS. You know how he did that little sing song.
It was always with the up at the end of the, because he knew that it was just more positive. I'm deeply saddened by the news of your loss. I still can't believe that Sam is no longer with us. He was such a bright light in our lives, always approaching with a smile and kind words. His presence in our weekly activities was a joy, and his spirit touched us all. Please know that you're not alone in this. We share in your grief and are here for you during this difficult time. Sam's memory will live on in our hearts and through the kindness he showed us. This from Gary Rhodes. Gary, also from AUP, a long, dear friend of mine is at the University of Arizona. That's Allie's wedding, yeah. And that's, yeah. So, Allie, you and Tommy and Caleb were in the rotation. When I say the rotation, that means every single day he mentioned you and your birthdays. That's what I mean. Every single day. So if that means anything to you, Caleb, January 6th, of course, I'm sorry, I know that by heart because he said it.
Yes, that's what happened on the day Caleb was born, nothing else.
Well, yeah, but for him,
January 6th.
but for Sam,
Yeah.
it's Caleb's birthday. It was always Caleb's birthday, and that's all that. And Caleb was 0 years old, and then he became 1, and he was so excited when Caleb became 1, he could no longer say 0 years old. Now he said Caleb's 1 years old.
We've been reading Hungry Caterpillar every night.
Well, think of Sam next time you do.
No, wait.
So Gary wrote, and Gary's just a wonderful soul, just a tremendous friend. What a heartbreakingly beautiful tribute. Sam clearly was a gift to you, your family, and the whole world, and his joyfulness and joy-giving were, I think, in part a reflection of the love and uplifting environment you provided for him, as well as the special light he carried with and shared with all those whose lives he touched. There are no words to express what I feel for what you and your loved ones are going through. My thoughts and hearts are with you. This is somebody from Merrick, Debbie Macklin, now Debbie Gordon. Howard, I'm so sorry to see this post, and my heart breaks for you and your family. As others said here, we watched your beautiful son grow up and could see by your post the love that was shared by you in your family. I think you could see that your Merrick family, Merrick is where Michael and I grew up, your Merrick family is sending you much love and prayers. There's a lot of people from Merrick, obviously, People could say what they want about Facebook, but, hearing from all these, all the people I went to school with, high school with, that's on the train in Chicago too. We'd stay, what we'd do is we'd do an Airbnb on this neighborhood on the north side called Roscoe Village, mostly because there was a restaurant there, the same that Sam loved.
There was a picture of that.
There was a picture, that's the
There's the
bean.
bean.
And Josh loved the bean, because Josh went there with his class. So the kids, we went there almost every year to Chicago, just a Art Institute, Field Museum, Wrigley Field, that was me, of course, to go to a game. And the last one, we walked, we actually were able to, it was like a mile and a half walk from from where we stayed. Yeah, that's one of the
That's
peak.
the Vikings.
That's peak. Anyway, Debbie wrote, you can see the Umeric family sending you much love and prayers. Leah Vance is a friend of Barb's.
She was a summer teacher for Sam.
Oh. Yeah, and we took her, but so the summers were always tricky to set up where he was gonna be, what programs he was gonna be in. But I promise you this, there was no, one thing I'll say, there was very little time, Sam played computer a lot, but he was always somewhere doing something. And we always had time for walks, you could tell, that's in Cleveland, by the way.
Yeah.
That's at Allie's, that's the same weekend of Allie's, and that's Matt, and that's, I think he liked your pool. Yeah.
Ice all the pools.
Yeah, and he played golf, Matt loves golf, and Sam didn't really love, but to him it was just social, and Andy Turner, the coach, was just so wonderful. And Andy's son, Colin, plays with us now. I coach Andy's son in basketball. I'm not just saying, we really are a community in Special Olympics, we really are, in every way imaginable, and that's why there's no way we're gonna stop. There's just no, there's just no way we can do that. So Lee wrote, you all raised the most amazing young man, brought joy and positivity to every class. Recreational activity and prom are the honor of attending along with him. Your loving care and dedication to involve Sam in everything, the amazing life it has to offer and widely admired. Sam was absolute sunshine. And we missed tremendously. Just a couple more. At the time, we're almost done. Sending all you so much love that you find comfort together. There are no words for such a loss. I'm so very sorry. Sam was beautiful when he lives in you and everyone in his life he touched. This is current teacher. Well, Tiffany, right, Barb? Isn't that?
Tiffany is
When I say
the day
teacher, the day
program,
program.
the supervisor in the day program.
Let me say, in my defense, Sam called it school. To him, it was still school that he was going to. But he called it by the, Sam and I wore the same pajamas every night. Every night, not just some nights. And that's a ritual we had. And so we would check with each other, like when we come out, we just had this way of checking with each other. It was both pajama pants or long and shirt color. And
Well, they just
that
started,
yellow.
like really in a couple years
Last
ago,
couple of years.
They had a lot of overlap, and then gradually it just was the same every night.
Sam would see me and he'd change into the same ones. That's from the Chagall windows at the Art Institute. Even in Cleveland, we went to the art museum. He just loved art museums. He loved looking at pretty things. To him, they were just pretty pictures, and he just loved going. And remember, we went to the museum in Philadelphia. Remember, they had a new museum in Philadelphia on American
Museum
history.
of the American Revolution.
And it's a tremendous museum. And we went there in the afternoon, and we had Philly tickets that night for the Phillies. And we had to leave, in order to get to the game, because they played, it was a Saturday night, they had a 6 o'clock game. So in order to get to the game, we had to leave the museum early, and Sam, I think 5 years later, was still mad at me for making him not go through he wants to go through every part of the museum, read
Well, part of it too was they used to have this little series on PBS, he loved it, it was called Liberty's Kids.
Yeah.
And it was just a really clever cartoon about the American Revolution, and
You guys
there's
ever
so
see
many
any of that?
things in it that were, it was like PBS 15, 20 years ago, but that were, I learned a lot watching it that I had forgotten, and he remembered all these things about the American Revolution. He would quote like the Ben Franklin,
Carol, I think that's you.
a penny saved is a penny earned, or he'd say, give me liberty or give me death. All of a sudden, just randomly, he would just start quoting.
Okay, this is random stuff. So Barb said it's like she called it free association. I called it a constant game of I Spy. But he would see something and just go off about it. The routes we drive around town and drive places, I would typically avoid the highways, not because I couldn't drive on a highway. I'm older, but I can still drive. Though looking at my car, you wouldn't be sure. But I would like driving through the retail places, just so he could point to every retail place. He just loved pointing out, oh, there's Petco, there's Starbucks, and he just loved pointing out all the different stores that we go to. So Tiffany wrote, she was running this program now. I'm so sorry, our hearts are broken with you. Sam will forever be a part of our CHS family. Monday, Wednesday, Friday will not be the same. I can only imagine the pain, how lost, overwhelmed you guys are. You guys are the best parents and inspiration of many. Sam lived life to the fullest because of you.
Then Roxy's bed.
His smile told it all. I don't even know who that is, by the way.
Is that Best Buddies?
Yeah, it must be Best Buddies. Katie Kalbasa. Katie was his teacher in what's called here middle school. We used to call it junior high. When married, now they call it middle school. And Katie for 3 years?
All 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years, Katie, and she was a wonderful teacher. I'm completely heartbroken. Sam was such a bright light in my life, and I will cherish my memories of him. I'm so very thankful to have taught him. I learned so much from him. I'll never forget his sweet temperament, bright smile, and pure happiness he exuded. He made everyone around him smile, sending you all so much love. This is from Lanny, which is someone, Barb, you grew up with, I believe, right? Barb, Howard, and Josh, so very sorry to hear the loss of your son and brother. So Josh is noting that. He was definitely a ray of sunshine, prayers for your family. And lastly, last one I have, Barb, I don't know what to say. There are no words. Absolutely cannot imagine. My heart breaks for you and your family. You've been a light in my life for many years. Sam touched Courtney. Oh, that's Courtney's mom. There's one picture in here with Sam wearing an elf costume next to Courtney. What costume is she wearing?
I think it's the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really cute.
And we've known Courtney. Courtney's been involved in a lot of our stuff. Sam touched Courtney's life in so many ways. Our thoughts, love, strength, and prayers are with you. I will definitely be at a celebration of life when the details are shared. And we are going to do that for those watching and those here. I just think for today, this, in speaking with Matt, Mary, and Michael over the last week, I think this is what we wanted, and now that we're almost through it, this is what we wanted, was to be with all, just you. We know how much people want to share with us about Sam, and we know that there are hundreds of people out there who want to do that, and we are going to do that. The shock was just too great for us. It just was too shy. It was just too great. I don't think we could do it now, and we are going to do it, and we'll plan it, and we know a lot of people around here and a lot of ways to get it done, and a lot of people will help us out, and we'll get it done.
Thank you guys so much, because these turned out so nice, and I couldn't have done it.
Okay, Haley, I think you did okay.
And I'm gonna say, you guys are all in the rotation, and it's sort of all sparking different things, like you, of course, were always grouped with Roxy, because you have the same birthday.
Yeah, and Jordan, there was.
You guys are both the 23rd.
Yeah, there was. I think he said Roxy's birthday at least 10 times every single day, bar none, along with your dad's. No offense, Jordan, if it wasn't for Roxy's, I don't think your birthday would be said as much, but it certainly did help. And he would say, and so this is what we wanted, and I think, but I still want people to not forget Sam. I don't think any of you will, and the pain is never going to go away. It will never be the same. Nothing will ever be the same for us. It just won't. And this may sound like I'm whining, but we had really Barb had gotten us, and everything. We had everything as good as it's ever been. With the programs and Josh graduating, and we were in my job and Barb doing her job. We were in a place in all our years together. And maybe it's just recency bias, but I do believe it. This is the best we've ever been. We were in the best place we ever were, with everything coming into. Everything was right the way we wanted it, except.
It was an interesting transition because of Sam leaving the education system, and they kind of made it a sour thing, unfortunately, because we asked for an extra year because of COVID, because they were trying to do video classes for a bunch of special ed kids who should have been out in the community, and that really was not an education. But then these day programs ended up opening up and being great. Sam had a lot of his old friends in there, but made new friends. And, you know, like the one was more kind of recreational, but the other one was more kind of vocational. And it was a nice mix of everything. And we started to think about these longer term things, and just, it felt like it was rounding into a really good place. And coming out of COVID, that was the other thing, is things are finally starting to get back to normal. Like, as far as being able to go face to face and interact with people and do the fun things we like to do in person. And then it just all,
But we're still gonna move on, we have to. But I think I'll think about Sam about 1,000 times every day. And
how can you not?
the connection we had, well, all of the things we had together, and it will never, just, it will be that way. And we'll be more ready in a couple of weeks to plan this, months, to plan this event. And I hope to see all of you there and those watching online, and we're gonna put this out. We do want to see everybody, and we'll be out there doing what we do. Does anyone else want to say anything? Now that you guys have said.
Share a favorite memory or story.
You don't have to. I appreciate you guys being here. We do, we have lunch coming
Where we're going.
at Carlisle's for all of you here. And to me, if we don't mind, I'd like to stop talking. Maybe we could all mill around and look some more. In all seriousness, Haley and Joan and Mary and Barb, I mean, look, I just think this is what I wanted it to look like today. We saw Sam's body yesterday for the last time, Josh and I and Barb. And I just don't think I could have handled that today. And I'm glad we got to see him one last time, but you guys did such a wonderful job. The flowers he loved those colors. Those are bright colors. And a couple things I just wanted to say also that we're gonna do and work with the people here at this facility to have a tree in our backyard with his ashes and a tree. A tree got lightninged to death, basically.
Some really bad storms last winter,
Yeah.
and a 30-foot apple tree just got flattened. You know, it was like the only tree right in the middle of the yard. And Josh actually said maybe we could plant a tree there for Sam.
So we're not gonna, there won't be any, Sam will not be in a cemetery. It'll be in our backyard, but and we plan to stay at our house. We love it there. He loved it there. And so so in terms of that, I put on Facebook the other day the charities, Special Olympics links, and the link to the charity, Many Hands that Barb's involved with. And we just keep doing that. And hopefully we'll, we could, just call, text, any note we get from any of you randomly, doesn't have to, it's just always good to hear the people in this room. And we appreciate.
Yeah, we talked about the
everything you guys
bench
did.
thing too. At the
Yeah.
parks, they have memorial
Yeah.
benches, which Mary's been kind enough to organize.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable if you guys did that. There's a program to donate. You could see from,
Yeah,
there.
that's one of
It would be at
the
it would
parks.
probably be at the park right there, in that park. They have benches, and they have, Barb's always said, I want to, because there's so many nice dedications on these benches throughout these parks. And we're lucky enough to live, that's in Special Olympics, softball.
Yeah. Ann Arbor's got so many nice
Look at that
parks by
smile.
the river
Look at
and
that smile.
walking trails and stuff.
And I taught Sam how to step and throw. Left foot for a step and throw. He throws it the right way, Michael, I promise you. Catches the ball, guide hand in, sees it into his glove. But he didn't care win, lose, he just liked being out there. And so Delhi's the park where a lot of these pictures are taken. It's very close to our house, very close to where we're sitting here. And that's Fuller Park with a canoe sculpture. That's Roxy. You guys got to see Roxy for the first time last night. And Sam loved her. That is Detroit
Summer
Zoo.
games. Oh, they were just wearing their summer game shirt. You're right,
So-
because remember they had a Special Olympics event at the.
Yeah,
Detroit
Sam, Sam loved the merry-go-rounds, I'm sorry to say.
Zoo. Sorry.
Oh, please, the merry-go-rounds, I could do without those. That's That's Detroit Zoo and the humps and the camels. Yeah, and that shirt. And that's with his mom. So many great pictures with his mom. You know, the connection between him and his mother was pretty special. And between him and his brother, it was very special. You know, look, you see that Josh with his arm around him? So many pictures just like that, with Josh with his arm around, the younger brother with his arm around the older brother. Josh just knew that he had to take care of Sam, and he always would. So. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop. And I don't know what you guys need to do over there with the stopping, but
Does anybody else wanna say anything?
if not, we'll just walk around and remember this. Oh, come on, Ally.
Just like John, you know, when it happened, just letting everybody know that Sam was gone. Everyone was just devastated. What a huge loss. Huge loss it was. My son Caleb was baptized last summer. Sam got to meet him, which I was so happy they got to meet. At the party, my cousin Mary Claire has a little 3-year-old. Her name's Annie. She's the cutest, sweetest thing, you know, with big blue eyes, blonde hair. She only wanted to sit with Sam. She only wanted to sit with Sam at the party. So it was Mary Claire, Annie, and Sam. And she said the conversations were wild. And she said Annie was devastated on the ride home to hear that she wouldn't get to see Sam at every family party because he was from Allie's mom's side and he wouldn't get to be there. And it's just not fair that we won't get him at any family parties anymore, but he's always going to be there with us. And we, like I said, we read The Very Hungry Caterpillar every night with Caleb, and we always told Caleb before Sam went that this was his cousin Sam's favorite book, and we will continue to do so. Sorry.
Okay. All right, that's about as much as I can take, so can we stop? Thanks.
Thanks again.
Thank you all for coming today. As the family had said, we do have maps for the trip to Carlisle's if you're joining, and if you need the address or you'd like some basic directions there. Thank you for the love and the support that has filled this room today. I can tell that Sam's family really, really appreciates your presence here and for those that are joining us virtually. Thank you so much for gathering today. Be well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Roger to come to the house.
He would have gotten it eventually, but, and for all the wonderful things that you did, traveling both kids, rooting for the Mets, I mean, I would take some, I mean, like, I feel like that's, today is not the day to raise that.
Josh gets there when he met, he'll get there and that's how he's
But why did you do that? I mean,
I told Josh, my wife wanted Josh. I didn't even know that.
you are. Knowing you.
I don't bring him for how. Yes.
Actually, I don't know. Brought the GW. Because I thought, this was good. But then I'm like, we went to the basketball game on Tuesday. They were winning by 10, and after 10 minutes, they lost by 25. I'm like, they're not doing enough for him. But maybe.
Proteins are loose when he gets there. That's not nothing.
No,
It's what's happening, and so his whole thing is now college.
it should be. I mean, there couldn't be better parenting except for that. I mean,
Because they've been so bad, all four of the teams are he is basically not giving up, but he kind of does, oh, the next one, oh, the next one. But he would.
some of that is obviously the surroundings, but a lot of it is just reality, right? I mean, like, what you do, yeah, they did it, and that's great. So, everybody was beautiful. Thank you for.
I appreciate this. Very frustrating.
We spoke about that last time. I said, except for the always, like, how can you do this? That's what you can't sit around and do. If we're gonna focus on anything, that would be it. But it was. We still talk about it.
In this situation,
We still talk about it. Sam, what he always eat because we're so in his house. That's a weird.
that's what's been my box.
You guys just have to something like that. He's looking so bad. It's just everywhere. Everywhere.
Neither of us would do well without it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give it. He can get us.
I can do it the last time we had to put up all this stuff. Or four people. Throughout the entire day, we have to just not stop. Thank you. Where's my, not saying he doesn't know. He wants people to ask him a question he doesn't know. And he stayed up, they got his one thing. know, we're not gonna stop.